Hi, I'm Jake Nolan with No Side Music. I am a full-time music artist, songwriter, producer, instructor, and performer. With the advent of music technology, amp simulators, samples, Melodyne, and even AI, music at large is starting to sound more and more the same. And while it might seem like technology is solely to blame, that is simply not the case. Now, I know this doesn't necessarily apply to all bands and artists, but in this video, I'm going to attempt to explain the various pitfalls by which you might be sounding less like your authentic self and more like the next guy, girl, individual. This video might offend some people, but at least it will get them thinking. It might get a little preachy, but let's get into it anyways. Comparison is the thief of joy and is killing our society like a cancer. I know I'm guilty of this
just as much as the next music artist.
With social media, comparing ourselves to follower counts and comparing our media to other media. The amount of subscribers I have on my YouTube channel versus the amount of subscribers on the next person's YouTube channel. Spotify stats make for lots of comparing.
Oh no.
This other band that I've played with has 200 or 2,000 more monthly listeners on Spotify than I do. So what's the solution? Find ways to become more comfortable in your own skin without becoming complacent in your craft or skill sets. Create without worrying what the person next to you is creating. You are the only you on the planet, and the planet needs more of that and not more of the same thing over and over. So stop comparing yourself to others. You're beautiful. Use less social media and get outside more. Go read a book. Watch some positive YouTube videos. Touch some grass, go outside into nature and get some sun. Spend more time on your craft. Conformity. Peer pressure is more rampant today than I think some realize, and it manifests itself in different ways. One way is politics. Politics has become so polarizing and tribal. Group A is convinced that Group B is the problem, and therefore, I'll only do what Group A says and thinks. And the same is true in reverse. Maybe it's time to hear what Group C or D have to say for a change. Religion. Religion isn't necessarily centered around belief in a deity. It can also be centered around a collective belief of ideas, whether those ideas are right or wrong. If you feel the need or pressure to belong to a group centered solely on one set of ideas without considering or questioning their validity, then it might be time to step outside that group for some fresh perspective. Remember, there's many sides to any given story, and biased information outlets thrive on our division. Social status. One very common way that music ends up sounding the same is people tend to drift to art that is socially acceptable. Most don't want to risk being uncool, or being thought of as uncool, rather, so they support things that allow them to feel like they fit in. Everyone wants to belong to something, and that's not inherently a bad thing. It's the way we're wired. Just make sure you're not losing your individuality in the process of seeking acceptance. Unfortunately, we cannot ultimately solve the issue of conformity, but we can form habits that will allow us to think for ourselves instead of what the masses are parroting or supporting. Before we continue on, please take a moment to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Thumbs up this video. Thank you very much. Let's get back to it. Convenience. This is where the technology part kicks in. Now, everybody's situation is different, but if you find yourself making decisions based out of comfort, safety, or fear of backlash from your peers, chances are the results of your art will reflect just that. Be bold. Just because it's easier to create sounds one way doesn't mean that it's better. It's just going to be more of the same thing, or similar to the same thing. This is not me saying that drum samples or amp sims or other music tech is bad. All I'm saying is don't rely on it to make you sound like you. Oh, and don't even think about using AI to create music and still calling yourself an artist. Feel free to fight with me about that one in the comments.
Greed.
This one is largely out of our hands as independent musicians, artists, producers, songwriters, etc. We cannot control giant corporations and special interest groups that pour millions into major record labels in order to manufacture the next Sabrina Swift. Contrived music has existed for a long time, and it will continue to exist as long as there is a profit to be made at the top. Let's do what we can to not parrot imitation art and contribute to corporate greed. Support artists that are trying to make a positive difference in the world. Fear. Have courage. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Don't be afraid of being made fun of for creating art that's authentic and honest. Don't be afraid of offending people for simply thinking, speaking, or creating as an individual. Dare to create what's inside your head without fear of being judged. I might be shooting myself in the foot with this last one, but stop relying on how-to videos to create your own style. Use tutorials and instructional videos like this one to help guide you, not to think for you. Use instruction as a way to supplement your individual voice and talents, not to copy something that somebody else has found success doing. That's it. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.